everyone, I'm Claire. Welcome back if you are an existing subscriber, and welcome if you are new. So today I am sharing my sort of weekly Sunday sews vlog with you on a Monday, and that is because I've been away for the weekend. So I have lots to share with you today. I'm going to talk about my weekend away. I went to a sewing retreat. I'm going to share with you some of the bits that I either bought or picked up off the swaps table, some garments that I also picked up off the swaps rail. I've got some new fabrics to share with you and also some new makes. So I think this might be a little bit of a bumper episode. So grab yourself a cuppa and settle in and we will get started. So just before I start, I will actually just let you know what I'm wearing. So I've just got a ready to wear pair of shorts on today. It's really hot here in the UK today. I think it's about 30 degrees, slightly overcast currently. But I'm just wearing a little tank top that I made, which is a pattern from Sinclair Patterns. This is a Jolee tank, spelled Jolee, and I've made a few of these now. It's a very simple sort of tank top, but as I said, it's quite warm, so I've just kind of put this on today, so apologies for the way I look. I've got my hair tied up because it's warm, and I also have my windows open, so I apologise now if there is any noise that you can hear from outside. I've turned my fan off, so hopefully I don't get too sweaty. Hopefully there's not too much distraction going on in the background. So as I mentioned, I have been away this weekend to a sewing camp, which is run by Crafty Sewing Camp, and it's an annual event that they run. It's always in August, generally the second weekend in August. I believe this is the 4th year that it's been running, so I went last year and I had such a great time that I booked in again for this year. So camp runs from Friday through to Sunday, so it's kind of 3 days, although checking in is kind of later in the day on the Friday. You get a couple of hours sewing time sort of Friday afternoon, and then Friday evening you have dinner provided, and it's just a general kind of social in the evening, kind of catch up. And then Saturday it's basically a full day of sewing. So as I'm talking about the event, I'll kind of pop in a few little pictures here so that you can kind of get a feel for how the event is and how it sort of runs. But basically you get allocated a sewing room with around about up to 10 people generally. And I think there's about 5 or 6 different sewing rooms, and it's in a beautiful location in Leicestershire called Bow Manor Hall. So it's a beautiful big house with really lovely grounds, and we have a kind of an area of the property, not the main house itself, but we are in some sort of like little studio areas around, just sort of a little bit away from the house, because quite often they have like weddings and stuff on. I think there was actually a wedding going on when we were there over the weekend, so that's kind of in the main house and the main sort of gardens, and then we're kind of like the other side of the estate. So it's quite well organised, to be honest. Yeah, as I said, there's about 5 or 6 different sewing rooms, and you're allocated your sewing room for the weekend, and yeah, it's really good fun. So each sewing room is allocated a sewing room leader, and they are there to basically oversee the room. They are the key holder for the room, and also if you have any issues or anything like that, they're there to kind of help and assist. They do get a little bit of a chance to sew as well, which is really nice. And it's just a really nice atmosphere. So in the evening on Saturday evening, they always have like a themed party. So last year was an 80s theme, and this year they decided to have kind of a beach / kind of seaside theme, which was really good fun. So I decided to wear an outfit that I had previously made, which the Agnes PJ set from Paper Theory. So I made it as a kind of co-ord set. I haven't really worn it out that much, if I'm honest. I don't know if it's slightly pyjama-y. I think it's definitely a good one for holiday, and so I thought it would be perfect for this event, for the themed party. So I just bought a couple of accessories. I bought like a straw hat, a straw bag, and then I actually had a bit of the fabric left over in my stash, so I just made a kind of a tie to go around the hat. I also made a little tie to go on the bag just to kind of tie it all in, and I had some like shell earrings that kind of hung down. I had sort of a shell necklace, and I had sort of matching sliders and stuff. So but I'll pop a couple of pictures in here so you can see my full outfit. So yeah, that was really good fun. We had fish and chips for dinner, and they also had some music going on in the evening. A few people were up dancing, and they also had a candy floss machine on the go as well, so we all enjoyed a little bit of candy floss. So also over the weekend they have a couple of kind of pop-up shops as well. So there's a lady that goes to the event every year called Manisha, and I think she has a Facebook group where she buys and then sells a lot of sort of trimmings and sort of beautiful fabrics, and she travels over to India to buy a lot of these products, and then she brings them back and then sells them through her Facebook page. So she had a pop-up shop there at the event, and also Rosie, who is Sew Eco Fabrics, she also had a pop-up shop at the event as well, so that was really nice. So I did make a couple of purchases over the weekend. I'll talk about those in a moment. And also I decided to stay on site this year. So last year when I went, I drove home each evening, which wasn't too bad. I mean, I'm about 45 minutes away drive. I went on my own last year and I wasn't sure how I would feel about staying over and stuff, and I wanted to see what the event was all about first of all. So this year I decided to actually stay. As you'll see from the photo that I put up here, the accommodation is very basic to say the least. However, I kind of knew this in advance, and so I actually purchased a like a single mattress topper, and I bought a sheet with me, and then I just had a sleeping bag kind of folded out over me. And to be honest, it was the best thing I could have done, because it made the mattress quite comfortable. Now, I'd heard from people last year that the mattresses weren't that comfortable, so that's why I decided to go ahead and buy the mattress topper, and that worked perfectly. And you just provide your own bedding. So we were allocated a dorm which had a few other people in. There was two sort of rooms, two separate rooms that had the bunk beds, and then there was a couple of individual rooms where people had paid a little bit extra for sort of individual rooms. And then in the morning the breakfasts were served kind of in the dormitory. So we had a big kitchen area, a big table, so everything was kind of laid out in the morning ready for us. Breakfast was around 8 o'clock. I am actually gluten-free and lactose-free, and I was very well catered for. There was quite a few other people with intolerances or allergies in our particular dormitory, and we were all very well catered for. And then during the day, the lunches were provided. So that was generally sandwiches, crisps, and a can of drink. For the people with allergies, there was a separate table set up, and there were separate boards for gluten-free, vegan and gluten. So whichever kind of allergy sort of you fell into, you were very well catered for, so there was no kind of cross-contamination. And the table for the sort of allergies for lunch, it was the kind of sandwich items were separate, so you could then make up your own sandwich with whatever was relevant for you, which was really good. So I mean, because I'm gluten-free and lactose-free, there was plenty of gluten-free bread options, lots of different options. So there was rolls and bread and various other bits and pieces like that, and then you could choose your fillings. So things like ham, there was like vegan cheese, sort of mayo, there was salads, there was lots of things that you could put into your sandwich. So that was really good. And then the evening we were provided with meals both evenings. So the Friday night they had outside caterers in to provide the meals, and we had chilli and rice on the Friday night, and then, as I mentioned, fish and chips on the Saturday night. Because I am gluten-free, there unfortunately was no fish options for me because it was in batter. So that was slightly disappointing, because my dinner Saturday night was basically chips, beans and vegan cheese and that was it. So that was a little bit disappointing, because I kind of thought I would have a fish option, maybe with no batter on it or something. So that was the only downside over the whole weekend really, but otherwise it was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I took quite a few projects with me for the weekend. I was probably a little bit over ambitious, but I kind of wanted to have more projects than I probably would have time for, just because sometimes you never know what you're going to fancy sewing at the time. So I took a sunny jacket with me, I took some Pietra shorts, I took a fleur blouse, and I took, I think, about 3 Naya tees that I'd cut out. And I also took a bag project that I've been working on through the week, and it just needed a little bit of finishing off. So behind me here on my mannequin are my kind of finished projects over the weekend. So I obviously didn't get everything done that I'd taken with me, but I'm just going to share with you the projects that I have finished. So first of all, this bag here, I'm just going to take it off the mannequin so that I can quickly show you. So this is the Harrelson belt bag. Now I bought this as a kit from First for Fabrics, and I think I purchased this sort of back in, might have been the very end of last year, kind of around near Christmas or very close to just after Christmas. And it had been sat in my stash for a while, and then I had actually at some point I had actually started cutting out all the pieces for it, and then it got to I think it got to a part in the instructions where you didn't actually have the pattern pieces. You had to kind of start measuring the fabric pieces, and they were things like you know, like the tags, and I can't remember exactly what items there were now, but there were some pieces where you didn't actually get the pattern pieces, you just had to measure the pieces out on the fabric. So I'd kind of stopped at that point. I thought I'll come back to it, and then lots of other things have kind of overtaken that project, so it just kind of been sat there. And then last weekend I cut out a lot of the projects ready for the camp, and then I kind of fancied sewing in the week, and I thought, what am I gonna kind of pick up? And so I decided to pick this back up. And actually it didn't take me long to cut out the rest of the bits that I needed to. And then during all of last week I just started constructing the bag. So I will just open it up quickly to show you the inside. So this particular kit came with this animal print fabric. Now I think there were a few different colourway options. I chose the black outer with the animal print inner. And I mean, I'm really actually really quite pleased with this project. I have sewn a couple of little bags, but never one that kind of looks like this. And even if I say so myself, it feels really professional. I really took my time over this week, and I followed all of the steps, you know, as slowly as I could. And I think the finished result is really good. So we've got a little inside zip here, which I will just show you. Sorry, it's a little bit difficult to, while I'm holding it, to open it as well. So there's a little inside zip in there, and then I actually added this tag in myself, which I quite liked, so that, yep, the whole of the bag is animal print. And the do I have the pattern to hand? I don't think I've got the pattern to hand, but there is the main option for securing it is to put kind of a tab here, like maybe a leather tab, and then one here, and then actually using one of these swivel clips to connect it together. Now I thought that might be a little bit of a faff to keep opening and closing, so I decided to use a turn lock sort of clasp instead. Now this didn't actually come as part of the kit, so I bought this separately, which turned up on Friday, and I managed to insert this part onto the bag. And then this part here on the outside, I was actually a little bit unsure of how to insert this, and I didn't want to go ahead and then get it wrong. So I took this with me to the sewing camp, because I was hoping that there would be somebody there that would be able to show me how to do this part, and there was. So that was really good. So I got that finished quite quickly. And to insert this part, you actually have to cut the hole out, and then you insert the piece through, and it's got like these prongs, and then you put this backing bit on it and just fold the prongs out, so it kind of secures it. But the scary bit was actually cutting the hole, so I was really nervous about cutting it and getting it lined up, but it worked out really well. So it's a really easy clasp then to, you know, just to turn You've got these kind of side bits here, and then you've got the strap with the slider strap, so you can make it kind of longer or shorter. So it just came with a plain black strap, which I think goes quite well. And then on the back of the bag, and this is the bit that goes against your body, there is also another zip here, and again this has the animal print inside, and this label here was supplied with the kit, so I decided to put that one on the back, which I thought goes quite nicely. So I will just pop a couple of pictures in up here so that you can see what it looks like, but it's kind of like a cross body bag basically, and you wear it across your body. So I finished that on Friday, and I have been using that all weekend since. So it's definitely going to get a lot of wear in my wardrobe. Next up this is the main project that I was working on over the weekend. So this is a sunny jacket by Tilly and the Buttons. Now, as you can see, this is not completely finished. So it's pretty much finished, apart from I just need to do the buttons. So I think I might possibly try and do them today. I'm a little bit scared of doing them because obviously buttons are a little bit of a sewist nemesis. And I haven't had that much success with buttons sort of over the years. And so it always makes me a little bit nervous to do them, but I think I just need to kind of get past that and crack on with it so that I can get the jacket finished. Now, I decided to top stitch. I don't know if you can see, I'll try and bring this in a little bit closer. I decided to top stitch the jacket in a black thread along all the seams, and I wasn't sure whether to do it in black or cream, but I'm really glad that I've done it in black. Now, the only thing I can't decide is whether to top stitch the collar. Now, this hasn't been pressed properly yet, so it is still looking slightly bouncy on the collar, but I do need to give that a really good sort of steamy press to make sure that is all nicely kind of turned in. I don't think I'm going to do the buttons right up to the top, because I would never wear a jacket like that. So I think I quite like it open like that, and I think I'm probably going to do the buttons kind of from here down. So maybe 4 or 5 buttons possibly. I decided to not do the lined version because I just wanted to keep this as simple as possible for my first one. So I just went with the standard classic collar rather than the big prairie collar, and I also left the pockets off of it just to keep it quite simple. This fabric was from Rainbow Fabrics, and it's kind of like a canvas kind of denim-y fabric, so I thought it would be really good for the jacket, which it has turned out brilliantly. It was really easy to sew. My machine was quite happy sewing most of it actually, apart from one of these side seams for some reason. Oh yes, so you probably can't tell, but this side seam here was just for some reason was a little bit bulky, and my sewing machine would not go through that at all. So I actually sewed right up to here and then along here, but just across that little seam I just hand stitched those little stitches in just to sort of join up. I don't think it's that noticeable. I tried to make it look as much as possible like the rest of it, and it's right on the side seam that's kind of hidden under the sleeve, so I don't think that's too much. I did put a label in the back, which I'll pop a picture in here. It's a little bit of a sweary label, so I hope you'll forgive me for that. And then just on the facing inside, since then I have added this little label which I picked up. I don't know if you can see it that well on the camera, but it just says made at a retreat, so I thought that was quite fitting for this particular make that I made at the sewing retreat. And then the third item that I finished was a Naya tee, which I have put on underneath here. I'll pop a couple of pictures in. So this is a lovely quality cotton jersey, and it was a remnant that I picked up from Fabric Godmother. It's mainly black and white, and it's actually got a little bit of like a chestnut brown colour in there. You may not be able to see it that close on the actual camera, but I kind of whipped that up yesterday morning before we started sort of packing up and stuff, and that came together quite quickly because I had it all ready cut out. So yeah, I'm really pleased that I managed to get 3 makes done this weekend. So while I was at the retreat, there was a colour consultation option available for express service, basically by Radiantly Me. I had actually pre-booked in advance to have that done, and it was about 30 to 40 minute express service, so it was really good. It was ran by a lady called Chelsea, who is actually also a sewist. She is based in the Leicestershire area, and my colours came out as clear, basically. So this is the little booklet that I got given, and you basically get sort of like 10 core colours. Now if you want to go for the full service, you then get a full wallet full of all of your colours, and it goes into a lot more detail. I think that service takes about 2 hours, and it goes through all of the colours, but for the express service you just get your kind of 10 core colours. As I mentioned, I came out as clear, and predominantly most of my colours are these kind of bright jewel tones, and it wasn't really a surprise if I'm honest, but I was really hoping that this is the sort of colouring that I would come out as, because as you know, if you already watch my vlogs, these are the sort of colours that I tend to gravitate towards and pick. So it's quite nice to know that what I am picking is pretty much in my colour palette. And then further in, it gives you some sort of suggestions about how to pair some of the colours up. So that was quite interesting. I hadn't thought, you know, some of these colours I wouldn't have thought to put together. And I mean, this colour here was a bit of a surprise to me, this kind of peachy tone. Apparently that really suits me, but generally, if she said it would generally be paired with another colour, so I wouldn't necessarily just wear this colour on its own, but paired with one of the other colours. My neutrals are black and this kind of grey, kind of taupe sort of grey colour. And she said I want to tone down some of the brighter colours. These are the colours that I would kind of pair with them, just to tone them down a little bit. So yeah, that was really interesting. And she also done a brief kind of little makeup thing. So I did actually buy one of the lipsticks, which is called Strawberry. I don't know if I've got it to hand. Probably should have put it on for this video. Here it is. And it's actually quite a bright red. So yeah, that came out really well on me, so I decided to also pick that up. So that happened on Saturday afternoon. And then there was also a swaps table. So they encouraged people to bring fabrics with you that you no longer wanted in your stash. I did take a couple along that were previously on my destash page, hadn't sold, so I decided to take them along to the swaps table. They went fairly quickly. I did pick up a few things from the swaps table myself, not too many pieces, if I'm honest. I didn't want to come away with too much, so I did pick up a couple of little pieces. Quite small pieces actually, so I will just share a couple of those with you now. So one of the things I picked up was this. It's just a small, I haven't actually unrolled this, I don't think it's a huge piece, but it's kind of like a red, looks like a cotton twill, and I thought this would probably be quite good for bag making. It's got quite a nice structure for it, and I think it would kind of be quite good like an outer piece for a bag, so I did pick that piece up. I also picked up this. Now this is sort of like kind of scraps. It's quite a jazzy, sparkly piece of fabric, and it just kind of caught my eye. Now, as you can see, it's already been cut into. I think this is kind of leftover piece that's from something else that somebody's made. But I'm hoping that I will be able to just cut out a basic naivety with this, with what's left of this, because I think that would be really nice for like kind of around Christmas time, or maybe for parties. Not that I go to lots of parties, but it's always good to have a sparkly top in your wardrobe. And then I picked up, this is probably the biggest piece of fabric. So this is really soft, and I'll just bring it a little bit closer. It's a pointelle sort of jersey. As I mentioned, it's really soft, a nice animal print, And to be honest, I was thinking kind of like a nice lounge set or PJ set with this. I'm not sure if I will have enough for trousers, I'll have to see. There's a fair amount here, but I think again maybe a little Naya tee and maybe either some shorts, or if I can get some longer trousers or even 3/4 trousers out of that, I think that would just make a nice little PJ set. And then I just picked up this little piece. Again, this is a remnant piece, so it's actually a soft shell fabric, and you can see inside is the fleece, and then the outside is this. And this is not enough really to make a jacket or anything with, but I was thinking that I might attempt to make my dog a little jacket for Christmas with that. So, or maybe not just for Christmas, but maybe just for the winter, because it's quite thick, and I think it's probably kind of shower proof on the outside, and then it's quite soft on the inside and cozy, and I think that would make quite a good little sort of a little coat or something for him for the winter months, because being a whippet he does get quite cold. So they were the bits and pieces that I picked up off the swaps table, so not too many. And there was also a swaps rail. So this year they'd sort of this was a new thing, they hadn't done this last year, but they kind of encouraged people to bring in items, handmade items of clothing that were either no longer being worn or didn't fit you anymore. I've had a few me-made garments that I was getting rid of, and I'd already gotten rid of them, and if I'd known about this in advance I would have kept hold of them and then brought them to the event. So I didn't really have anything to put on the swaps rail this time. I'll definitely bear that in mind for next time, so that I can kind of put things aside for next year. But I did pick up a couple of items. So one was this little Ogden cami. It's quite a basic little cami. And it's just got this, I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't necessarily pick this fabric, but I tried it on and it fitted, and I thought it's a nice little basic camisole, even, you know, if you're just kind of knocking around at home. So I thought that was quite nice, so I picked that up. And then I've seen this top a couple of times and I wasn't sure about the style on me. It's just a little kind of floral black and white top. I tried it on and it actually fitted me. It's a little bit long in the body, so I'm actually going to turn it up so that it's a little bit more hip length on me, because it's just slightly longer. It's not quite long enough to kind of cover your bum, but it's yeah, it's just a little bit too long on me. So it's just a little basic top, but I have taken a couple of pictures of these, so I will pop them in so that you can see what they look like as I'm showing you. And then the other item I found was this jacket, which really kind of stood out. So it's this this jacket here, and it's got a little bit of shape. It's actually got functional pockets, and obviously the fabric stood out because it's nice and bright and colourful. I'll just show you the back so you get a full sense of the pattern. And it actually feels like a really good quality fabric. At first I thought it was a woven fabric, and then once I picked it up I realised it's actually a French terry. So it's got a little bit of stretch to it, and when I tried it on it's pretty much fitted me perfectly. The sleeve length was right, and the bodice and everything was right, and yeah, I was really surprised, and I thought, well, that's definitely been made by somebody else who is petite. Turns out it had been, but yeah, I decided to take that because I thought it was quite bright and funky. So they were the things I picked up off the swaps rail. And then I did actually buy a couple of little things from the pop-up shop, so I was just quickly going to show you those. So Crafty Sewing Camp also had a little stand there, and they were basically selling all of their items off as cheaply as possible. So I picked up a little bit of ribbon. I think that was about $3.50, something like that. I picked up a non-stick foot for my sewing machine, and this was being sold off at £2. But they had a whole basket full of various kind of haberdashery stuff, and it was either £2 an item or 5 items for £5. So I got this. I got a couple of glue refills for my little glue stick and some needles, and yeah, it ended up costing me £5. I picked up this, which I thought would be good for bag making. So it's just some faux leather. Again, this was about £3, or £3.50, something like that. And then I picked up a piece of jersey, so I got 2 meters of this, a nice bright green. This is in my colour palette now that I know of, and this was, I think this was about £3 a metre as well, so this was very reasonable. And then, as I mentioned, Manisha, the lady who buys the items from her trips to India, I picked up some trimmings from her stall. So when you purchase something, you get these lovely little bags from her. And some of the trimmings I think she was selling per metre, and the ones I picked up were already pre-cut and they just had a price on them. So as I'm holding them up, you'll be able to see the price. But I got this one, and as you can see, this is 4.5 metres and it cost me £4. But it's this lovely bright kind of trim, and I thought this would be really nice either around a neckline or around like sleeves on a t-shirt or something. But I really liked the colours in that. And then I picked up this one. This was £2.50 for almost 3 metres, and this is kind of like a ribbon. Just pull a little bit of this out so that you can see. And again, I think this would be really easy to put as a trim on something, maybe the bottom of a skirt, the bottom of a top, or around a neckline. So I just picked these up really to kind of put in my stash. And then I saw these on the last day and I thought they were quite interesting, and I thought would go well with kind of a little bit more of an evening sort of top. And they are these trims. So if I just hold a little bit of this away so that you can see, there's kind of like a bit of net either side of the trim. You might be able to see it if I put my hand through it. So you can easily sew along there to kind of sew this on. But Manisha told me that these are actually faux sequins, so they're actually made out of straws. I'll just bring it a little bit closer so that you can see. And they're made up of straws that have been all cut up, and apparently they're so soft that you can actually sew through them. So I just decided to pick up a couple of those. They were £5 for 2.8 metres. So I got a black, and then I got this kind of silvery glitzy one as well. And again, they're just to put away in my stash, and I think they would be good for kind of trimming things. So they are the bits and pieces that I picked up. Oh no, I've just remembered, I've got one other thing. I bought this from Rosie at Sew Eco Fabric. So Rosie was actually in our dormitory as well, which was really nice, and also our sewing room. So we got to know her quite well over the weekend, and she's a really lovely lady, and she had her pop-up shop there. So on Instagram, she's known as Sew Eco Fabrics. She also has an online shop, and she makes these pincushions. So she makes them herself, and she had a few with her. So I had previously seen these online and had never purchased one. When I saw that she was at the sewing retreat, I wanted to buy myself one. So that is what I got. So that was £8.50. And she also did these little labels. So I think these are Sarah Hart labels. So rather than a full pack, she actually split the packs down, and then she was selling them in packs of 2. So I've put one inside my jacket, and they are these, made at a retreat. So I just bought a little pack of those as well, because I thought they kind of went with the event. Yeah, so that's everything I got from the sewing camp. Only other thing I wanted to share with you today is prior to going to the sewing weekend, this month I've actually made a few purchases on fabrics. So I know there's been a few little sales and stuff recently, and I've actually got quite a few fabrics here to share with you. So I think I know I said previously I'm on a ban, and again that has not gone that well this month. I think I've got maybe 11 fabrics or so here to share with you, and actually another two have just arrived today. Now that is it for the month. I'm not buying any more this month, because if you saw the little pile that I've got here, it's quite substantial. So I was just going to run through those fabrics with you quickly to show you those. So I hope you don't mind and you enjoy having a look at those. So Can you tell I've started warming up a little bit? I think it's because my fan is not on and I'm going through all of this stuff. So apologies if I'm looking a little bit, I don't want to say the word sweaty because it's not very nice. But if I'm starting to glisten a little bit, then that is why, because I'm starting to feel quite warm. So first of all, I've got some fabrics to share with you from Rainbow Fabrics. Now, they had a new drop recently, and I wasn't going to actually buy anything, and then my mum sent me a photo of one, and she said, oh, look at this fabric, this is similar to kind of fabric that you're looking for the Avenir. So I decided to get that, and then while I was there, I did pick up a couple of other fabrics. So the first one I'm going to share with you is this. So this is the one that my mum sent me, and we both thought this would make a really good Avenir jumpsuit. And this is a viscose crepe. Now, the only thing I'm not sure about, I'm just trying to open this out a little bit so that I can show you. I'm not sure if this is going to be a little bit see-through. So, I mean, that is my hand underneath it, and I think you can see through the white part of it a little bit. So I'm a little bit unsure if that is going to be too fine, and just holding it up against me, you can see my top through it. So yeah, I'm not sure if that will be good for a jumpsuit. I don't really want to be kind of showing my underwear through it. So I'll have to have a think and see how I feel, but I might kind of hold it up in front of a mirror when it's kind of properly opened out and just see. But I do love the colours in there, obviously predominantly black and white, and then that kind of olivey colour. So that was the first fabric I got, and I got 3 meters of that one. So that was quite reasonably priced, and I also had a 30% discount voucher, because I think when you buy from Rainbow Fabrics, your points build up and then you get a discount code. So I had 30% to use, so I got that one. And then I seen a couple of people had shared this and said it was really good quality. Now it's quite a boring fabric for me. It is one of the colours actually that came out in my colour consultation, plain black. This is a modal jersey, and I decided to get 3 meters of it, to be honest, because you can never go wrong with a you know, a good sort of quality jersey. And I'll just hold it a little bit of it up, and you can see it's got some stretch to it, and there is no you can't really see through it. It actually feels like a really nice quality. So as I said, it's a modal jersey, so that's gonna be useful for all sorts of things. I definitely want a plain black t-shirt, because I think they would go with lots of things. I think it will look nice under my sunny jacket, just a plain black t-shirt, and then maybe, you know, some kind of a dress possibly with the remainder, or even some loose fitting trousers or something, but definitely will get some use with that plain fabric. Then I picked up this, which I'd seen Jen Legg share, and to be honest, there was quite a bit of this left, and I'm surprised people haven't gone for it. So this is actually a modal viscose, so it's really good quality. It's not see-through, it's really pretty. The colours are absolutely beautiful, and the quality feels really lovely, to be honest. So possibly a little summery co-ord set for that. Again, I bought 3 meters of that, so all of those 3 fabrics I've got 3 meters of. So maybe shorts and a little top with that I thought would be quite nice. And then I picked this was in the sale, and I just picked this up really to put in my stash. I would really love to have a go at sewing some swimwear at some point, and I really love the colour of this. It is very bright, as you can see, and it's a coral, neon coral swimwear. And I don't know about you, but I mean, I'm not familiar with sewing swimwear at all. I have got a couple of kind of swimwear fabrics in my stash that I'd bought previously. Not brilliant quality. This actually feels really nice quality, and it's got a lot of stretch. It's got quite a decent feel to it. It's not see-through, it's quite opaque. So I thought, I bought 2 meters, and I thought I could always use it sort of on the inside as well as the outside to kind of double up. So I got that one. That was 2 meters. And then I made a purchase from Hey Sew Sister. So I had actually ordered a couple of fabrics, and then another fabric came back into stock. So I asked Georgie if she could add it onto my order, which thankfully she hadn't posted my order, so she did. So I ended up with 3 fabrics. So the first one I got was this one, which is a so this is a rayon, Dashwood rayon, and I think when they bought this out there was a couple of different colourways, pink, blue, and then there was a couple of different prints, but I really like the waves one, and these colours I think really suit me. So this is a really nice quality sort of viscose fabric. Again, I'm not sure if that would be nice for an avenir. I quite like the swirly fabric, so possibly either avenir jumpsuit or even a dress in that would be really nice. And then I also picked up this fabric, which is one of the Crafty Pie fabrics, and this is also a viscose. Now I've got 2 meters of this one. Sorry, I'm looking down because I've got a note down here of how much I've got of each fabric, and I've seen a couple of people make trousers up in this, and I thought that would be really nice. And again, these colours actually came out in my colour consultation, so even though I wouldn't necessarily be wearing those close to my face, I think they would look nice with a t-shirt, kind of plain t-shirt maybe in those colours. I have recently made a blue t-shirt, so that would probably go quite well with those. So yeah, my plan was to make trousers with that. And then the other thing I bought was this, which I have been waiting for it to come into stock for a while. I've previously missed out on this, and this fabric seems to sell like hotcakes. So this is one of the collaboration fabrics that Jolee from Hey So Sister has with Pigeon Wishes, and it's a really lovely quality lightweight cotton, and obviously it's this gingham with the bows on it, and I got 3 meters of this. So I'm either going to make a dress. Now I can see a flare dress in this, and I've made the flare top. I've got another flare top cut out, and I've got plans to make another flare top for my Busy Bee sewing challenge. So I'd really like to try the dress. So I'm kind of veering possibly towards making the dress with this, which I think will be really nice, especially with the ties on the front, because it will kind of tie in with the bows on this. So I think that would probably make quite a nice dress, and then I think you could possibly wear that going into autumn with a long sleeve t-shirt underneath, and maybe boots or tights. So yeah, I think I am definitely going to veer towards possibly the flare dress for that one. And then the next fabrics that I've got to share with you is this one's turned up today. So this is one that I actually purchased a while ago from Jenny Stitches. So when she went on holiday, she basically has had a sale on of everything on her site, and the sale has now ended because she's back from holiday. But because she was away, there was a little bit of a wait for the fabric, which was absolutely fine. I wasn't in a rush or anything for it, but when I saw that she had 15% off of everything, I decided to just get one piece of this fabric, because I really loved the colours, and I thought that was a perfect opportunity to get it at a slightly discounted rate. So again, this is another fabric from the Crafty Pie, who is Brogan, who was on the one of the sewing bees, and these are new fabrics that she's designed. But I really love the colours in this, and the blues, again the blues and the greens. In fact, I think it possibly goes quite well with that, so I don't know if that would be weird to wear a top in this and trousers in that together, but they're from the same, obviously from the same kind of range, but just different prints. I actually just got 1.5 meters of this. My plan is just to make a basic t-shirt. I probably only needed 1 meter, to be honest, I'm not sure, but I got 1.5 meters just to be on the safe side. And my go-to t-shirt is generally always the Naya, so I will probably cut one of those out with this, but I just love the print on that. So that was that purchase, and that has just arrived today. And then this is a little bit of a different one for me, but I've liked the fabrics from what Vicky made, and she is also from the Sewing Bee, and as you may or may not know, she has launched some of her own fabrics. So I decided to pick up this one with the plants on. So I just got 2 meters of this, and my plan is to make a little blouse or a top with this. I think fairly sort of basic top or blouse to show off the pattern. Now this is not generally the colour that I would normally go for. I don't even know if it really suits me. It's kind of a pinky lilac-y colour, but I just really love this print, and I've seen a couple of people now make this up, and it just looks so nice that I decided to purchase a piece of this to also make a little top. So I'm really hoping that it does suit me. I'm hoping, like, because it's got the pops of green in it, I will be able to get away with it. But yeah, I really love that fabric, so that has just arrived today as well. So and then the last fabrics that I bought were from Lamazi. So they had a little sale on all their kind of washed cottons and sort of linen fabrics. I think they're obviously, because we're sort of starting to come towards the end of the summer, they decided to have a little sale on those kind of fabrics. So I decided to purchase a couple. Now I've got 2 meters each of these, and my plan is either a pair of shorts or a pair of kind of loose fitting trousers with both of these. So the first one I've got is this one. So this is a viscose linen, and it's called leaves on ecru. So it's a obviously the background is light coloured with these leaves on, but I just really like that kind of print, and I think it would look just really nice as either shorts or trousers. And then I also picked up a piece of this which is also 2 meters, and it is the See You at 6 ink. This is called Ink Strokes, and it is part of the collection that had the panda fabric in. Now I really love this, but I couldn't afford to buy this at the time that I bought the same panda fabric, so I kind of sat on that. But when they had the 15% discount, I just decided to buy a piece of this as well, and I just love the background colour. This is also a viscose linen, and I think will make a nice pair of either trousers or shorts as well. And then while I was there, I decided to buy a little colour bundle of jerseys. So they do these little bundles of 3 jerseys, and you can select what size you kind of want the pieces to be. I think they start from, you normally get 3 jerseys in a bundle, and you can either get 1 meter of each, 1.5 meters of each, 2 meters of each, and I think it might go up to about 2.5 to 3 meters. Obviously the price increases with each size that you buy, but I bought these colourway mainly to kind of go with these fabrics. So my plan with these was to make just some basic plain naivete to go with some of these other kind of patterned fabrics. So these are just 1 meter each, which is enough to make a naivete, and obviously the green goes with the green in here, so it will pretty much make a full outfit. The orange kind of rust colour will be a contrast, and I was actually hoping this blue would kind of match with this, but it doesn't at all. This is more of a teal blue, which I absolutely love, and it will definitely get some use, but maybe not in conjunction with this fabric. I do have a little t-shirt in this bright blue already, so I know that will go with that. So this will go with other stuff that I've got anyway, and yeah, I love this kind of teal colour. So yeah, it's quite a lot of fabrics, but I've definitely got plenty to keep me going. So I hope you've enjoyed everything that I've shared with you today, and I hope you haven't felt that it's been rushed. I have tried to kind of whiz through it fairly quickly, just because I know that there was a lot here. There was a lot of things I needed to talk about or wanted to talk about with you today, and I didn't want this obviously vlog to go on for hours. I knew sharing all of this stuff would take a little while, so it's probably a fairly lengthy vlog as it is. So my plans this week are, I would like to get my jacket finished and get the buttons on so that I can start wearing that properly. It's probably a little bit too warm to wear it at the moment, but I kind of made this with a view for it to be sort of like a spring or autumny kind of jacket. It's obviously not lined, so it's quite lightweight, but I think, you know, with the if it slightly cools down, it'll be perfect for that. So yeah, I would like to get that finished, and then I have got a flare top kind of cut out that I wouldn't mind making a start on, but I do also need to concentrate obviously on my Busy Bee sewing challenge, because I need to get that done this month, and I think I've only got probably just over 2 weeks now to get that done, maybe 2.5 weeks. So I think that will probably be my main priority over the next week or so. I think I've got a couple of free weekends coming up, so I've got plenty of sewing time coming up, and obviously I do sometimes do little bits in the week as well, so I'm not too concerned that I won't have time to do those. So yeah, that's kind of my up and coming plans for this week. So I hope you have enjoyed watching my vlog today. Sorry that it is a day late, but I hope you have enjoyed hearing all about the camp and seeing all of the bits and pieces that I picked up, and obviously all of the fabrics that I've shared today. So if you have got any questions or you would like to know about any of the stuff that I've bought today, please feel free to pop a comment in the comments section below. Also, I love hearing from you, so if you just want to say hello, I always try and respond back to all of my comments. So if I do miss any, that is not deliberate at all. I have found I get the odd one that for some reason I don't get alerted to. So I normally see the alerts come up and tell me if I've got a comment, but for some reason the odd one kind of slips through. So if you've ever commented and I've not replied, then I do apologise, because that is it's never deliberate. I do like to try and reply to every comment that I get. So please feel free to give me a thumbs up if you liked this content. That just lets me know that I'm putting the right content out there. And if you haven't already subscribed, then I would be really grateful if you would also subscribe. That just helps push my video out to more people and gets my sort of videos out there a little bit more. So and it also means that if you subscribe, it will pop up in your kind of feed whenever I release a new video, so you get to see my new videos pop up, which, you know, hopefully is a good thing. But yeah, otherwise I will sign off here, and I will be back with you again next weekend for my usual Sunday sews. Have a good week and hope you get some good sewing in, and I shall catch up with you again next week. Thank you for watching. Speak to you again soon. Bye.